Unit 1 Video, Chapters 1 through 8 by Analia Spain, NBS U.S. History. Believe it or not, Christopher Columbus was not the first person to discover the Americas. It was only a mere accident that he did. But to the Mayans, Aztecs, and Pueblos, this accident happened in their home. Columbus unknowingly set off a cultural revolution in both the Americas and in Europe. The Europeans brought over goods to the Americas, including but not limited to sugar, rice, coffee, horses, cows, pigs, and many diseases, which wiped out up to 90% of the Native Americans. In return, the Americans supplied gold, silver, corn, potatoes, tobacco, beans, and chocolate. Slaves were soon brought into this equation over from Africa to work in the plantations of the Americas. So, what was this more bitter than sweet trade system called, you say? Of course, it was called the Columbian Exchange. What a coincidence. The Spanish conquistadors were yet another effect of the discovery of the Americas. The conquistadors were Spanish men in search of fame and wealth, especially gold and silver. I'm sure you've all heard of Hernan Cortez, the one who pretended to be an Aztec god for power, fame, wealth, yeah, all that. Yes, 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 that's the one. But that is yet only one example of how shallow the conquistadors went. By the late 1500s, Spain established a powerful empire. But Spain wasn't the only country who was interested in the Americas. England was just as eager to profit from its treasures. The first permanent English settlement was in 1607 in Jamestown, Virginia. It was chartered by the Virginia Company, but the colonists were too focused on searching for gold than finding food. So many died from starvation, malnutrition, and disease. John Smith soon took over the colonies, yet Virginia still stood on shaky economic ground. That is, until John Ross perfected the tobacco harvest, also known as the poor man's crop. Soon Europe's demand for tobacco was far too much for poor little Virginia. Then came along the second plantation colony, Maryland, in 1634 by Lord Baltimore. Maryland was also known as a haven for Roman Catholics. Carolina was created in 1670 and supplied West Indies with many things. Carolina soon split into two colonies in 1712. Georgia was the last colony to be founded in 1733. It was established as a buffer colony between South Carolina and Spanish Florida. In 1620, separatist Puritans landed at Plymouth Bay in hopes to find a brighter religious future. In 1630, a group of non-separatist Puritans established Massachusetts Bay Colony. John Winthrop declared the colony to be a city on the hill, one of humility and strength. In the early Chesapeake region, settlers did not survive long due to disease. However, they quickly began gaining immunity. The tobacco economy flourished with the help of indentured servants. Though life expectancy in New England, however, was high and women had plenty of kids, as many new settlers came into the farming area, the Puritans diminished, leading to the Halfway Covenant and the Salem Witchcraft Trials, where a group of teen girls claimed to have been bewitched. 19 hanged and one smashed to death. Not your everyday news headline, is it? Throughout the 1700s, there was a huge population boom in the colonies. However, two dominant minority immigration groups were the Scotch-Irish and the Germans. English and French colonies in the Americas clashed for years due to close proximity to each other. In 1754, it became a 100% true, all full blown out, whatever you want to call it, war, also known as the French and Indian War. Soon after the war, Native Americans attacked the British post England crushed the Native Americans. Although a complete revolution was not in the colonists' plan, they were angered by the Sugar, Quartering, and Stamp Act, which led to Boston Massacre, which led to the Intolerable Acts in 1774, which led to the leadership of George Washington as head because of half desperation and half trust. So as you can tell, this founding of the America was rocky and far from peaceful, but it finally all happened July 4th, 1771. Unit 1 video, Chapters 1 through 8 by Annalena Spain, NBS U.S. History. Believe it or not, Christopher Columbus was not the